Well, hello there, and welcome back to France. Well, I said I would take a week of a thinking pause, but in the end, that's not what will happen here. I'll basically just be well, I guess you could say sitting around, not really doing much. But even so, I have been thinking because, as I said, my recording sessions are usually 4 to 7 episodes in a go. So usually, I basically had time to think and try and come up with some theories, looking a little bit around on the forums to get some ideas. But there are basically three big problems that I need to deal with, and that is, first of all, Sweden, Norway, and basically the remains of Northern Europe. I'm basically done with Europe if you think about it. All these central, Portugal, Castile is basically minus, and Great Britain has been banished to the New World and can simply be, I guess, annexed over there. They're still a little bit annoying because they are seriously started colonization now, so I need to kill them off before they do more damage, I guess. And also the coring costs will be horrible, but I'm pretty sure since they are English, I can actually sell it to England without suffering any consequences at all for it, so that should be fine. That is a way to do with Great Britain here. I'm a little bit unsure with Shawnee, and well, I could always attack them and release Creek. I'll probably do that. Probably do something like that with the Mayans, if they actually have, or if there is actually some Aztecs left or something like that. We'll have to figure that out. Incas probably do the same. Even I'm actually not for these guys yet in these games, so I have no idea if I might have waited too long and can't actually just take them all in one war. We'll figure that out soon enough. Same with Mali, Benin, Congo. This area here is not actually important. Neither is Americas. This area is, and there is a very big problem here, and that is Muscovy. They need to be dealt with. They need to be dealt with fast. The fact that they have been kicking the hordes as they have been have turned into a real problem for me, and I need to slice them in half basically to have a chance to stand this. Last time I got screwed over by well, the inheritance system, or my heir dying and such, and that pissed me off. But potentially, yeah, I can use Lithuania to my advantage, and when it comes to dealing with Muscovy, I think they only have 3 cores left. But even so, if I get into war with Muscovy, I can start selling provinces to Lithuania. They are my culture, no, not my culture, my religion, so I can easily hand provinces over them. I'll also most likely be integrating Byzantium and then releasing them again, basically because of the fact I have no idea if it will get rid of the annexed vassal thing. But if not, I can simply release Greece here, so that should work out just fine as well. I'll probably do that. When it comes to these guys, I'll try to dismantle the Holy Roman Empire. Actually, it's very funny how that actually works, because I did do it in another game. Well, I did not dismantle the Holy Roman Empire formed itself in my night game, and the result of that was basically I got Rename Perry, dismantle the Holy Roman Empire achievement, so I feel cheated, or I feel like I cheated the game. But even so, that doesn't really matter. Trier has become vassal, I believe, and as such, they do have a lot of cores in the Holy Roman Empire. So as I said, this is basically done. I'll be getting this Swedish area here, I'll be getting these provinces here, and basically once I've taken the Swedish area, everything mostly will be landlocked. So then I simply have to deal with this, and then it's just the inner lands. The only problem here will be Ottomans and Muscovy. I want to try and break them apart before I start the coalition wars, which definitely will be happening soon. That's no doubt. And I also need to deal with Ming and such, but as I said, it shouldn't actually be a problem, and we should be able to deal with it before too long has passed. But we'll see how it turns out. We'll also deal with Japan, I think, pretty soon. We'll be taking Korea, have them or feed them this entire area, and then we'll be going north, starting to attack Muscovy from the west. The fact is, the wars in Muscovy will take forever, simply because of their enormous manpower and all that. So I'll probably have my manpower replenished a little bit, and we'll probably start the wars in Muscovy in 50 years. As I said, this is I do have a goal of world conquest here, but it's not something that I can put it demand or expect. So we'll see how it turns out. Swahili, Mali, I believe I actually have overseas expansion on all of these guys, although it's said that I wouldn't actually get it on pagans, I think. Yeah, that's correct. So as I said, I'll just get started here. I'm a little bit rusty. I'll have to check who my truce is with, who I can attack, and then we'll see what we'll do. We are currently at war with Aragon and Hungary, if I'm not mistaken, and Burgundy and Venice. Venice will probably do the easy thing with, simply convert them from a republic, vassalize them, same with the Swiss, and also probably own down the line. So we'll see how it turns out. Upon further thinking, there is something I can do here. As you can see, we are allied with Muscovy, So I will not be taking extreme amounts of aggressive expansion once I actually declare war on people in this area or everywhere else and such. So we'll be going for a war against Japan, I think, pretty soon. And in that war, the goal will be simply to drag in the Oirat Horde, take a couple of provinces. Shun has one of them, and then I'll take a couple more, hand it over to Shun, basically grow them, and then continue on that note until we can vassalize the Horde, vassalize both the Hordes, use them as bait on Muscovy, and grow that way. We'll see. Well, as I said, I should deal with Muscovy pretty soon, but as of now, it's not actually anything that I am, well, too focused with. The Ottomans are a little bit more, or pose a bigger issue, I guess is the right word. So, as I said, what I will be doing here is probably integrate Byzantium and take this province, for example, and release Greece instead. And then we'll be using Greece to take at least this part of the Ottoman Empire. And we'll have to see how it goes from there. Mamluks will probably also, if they have a core still in the area that we can take before it disappears, will most likely be fed this area. But yeah, it seems we've come to the point where only Sweden is basically the only place I can still just use, how shall I put it, use regular tactics to get what I want. So we'll be seeing what I'll do. I've been using now 6 minutes simply to talk about planning, but yeah. As I said, we'll move some more troops to this area here. We'll declare war on Japan and the Oirat Horde, and then we'll get going. So we'll see how it turns out. As I was saying, I'm tempted to start a war with Japan. I'm pretty sure I actually will. The reason why I'm declaring on Japan is because they're only allied with the Horde. But if I were to declare on the Horde, I would bring in Sho and a couple of others which I do not want. So as a safety measure, we'll simply be declaring war on Japan. And I think I'll simply march into the Horde first, seeing as, yeah, they actually joined in. So the goal here now will be to keep the Horde in, I guess you could say, leash. And then we will be, well, giving Shun back one province, and also trying to take as many as possible. I'm not sure how many troops these guys have, but yeah, not really that much. And I'm also sending another 20k over pretty soon. So as for the primary goal here, siege Horde provinces, get them to give up the war, and then we will be moving on to Japan afterwards. And if possible, I'll be moving my fleet over here. We'll be taking probably a couple provinces here, one in each half, I think, if possible. It doesn't seem like it. Probably just take one here then, and release a vassal, and use that to eat Japan. I think we'll have to see. Too bad I can't actually release Ryukyu. It would actually be a little bit fun, but well, we can live with this. So we'll see how this turns out. And also, I will most likely integrate Delhi or Malva. I think Delhi is the safer bet here, and they will probably be integrated rather soon. I could potentially also use these guys in the other side, or Delhi in this case, to integrate some of these provinces, and I might. And I'm also going to, while I'm at it, declare war on Persia as soon as I can, with the goal of releasing the Timurids once again. And then I'll be using them to eat Persia, and once I have, I'll probably get into wars with the Ottomans and such. I might even get into war with the Muscovites pretty soon, but we'll have to see. As you can see, they do have a lot of troops, but if I can drag them into my walls and thus raise the war exhaustion by, as they are now, keeping most of the troops just standing there not doing anything, that could help out quite a lot. So we'll see what we'll do. As you can see, I got the a child in the reeds, which basically is an event that allows you to well, it's basically a new legal heir, an adopted child, so to speak. I don't actually remember, but it's a Bible tale, I believe. That is pretty much the same, so that's a little bit interesting. But even so, I'll probably, yeah, I'll not be taking those, because I need to get my my legitimacy high if I have to have any wish to actually get Muscovy sooner or. Wow. Wow, this game is just having fun with me now. Question: if I am to vassalize the Livonian Order right now, could they potentially start the integration of Muscovy for me? Would that actually work out in any ways? And also, if I am to actually declare war on the Livonian Order, wow, that's actually something I have to test out here right now, right here and right now. If I am to declare war on the Livonian Order and then occupy their entire territory, if I will get 100% war score and then force Muscovy to release lands, because that would be abusive as hell if it is actually possible. I might actually have to ask if that's actually possible on the forums, because I'm not going to risk a war with Muscovy that I'm not prepared for. That is just a little bit too reckless for my, at least for me. So I'll have to consider that down the line. But for now, I will be sieging those, the Friuli, that's Venetian. And we'll also be focusing a little bit more on the war here. As you can see, we have started the sieges in Persia. Just landed 6,000 men troops because they can basically stand against these guys until I can get reinforcements. And we'll also sieges are also going well over here. We'll be sieging the Orient Horde first, and then we'll be going after Japan as planned. And I'll also be, I think, shipping my fleet over there. It's a little bit tempting to keep it in Europe for the purposes of declaring war on the Swedish as soon as I can. But that's not really as important as getting back in Muscovy as soon as possible. So yeah, it's really tempting to see if that's actually a possibility, because in that case I will be has no possible neighboring province. Wow, I should have seen that coming. But even so, it's really tempting to declare war on these guys without a CB. Norway, Hungary, Crimea, they rule over Muscovy, which will aid them. So those guys have screwed me over twice now in terms of getting Muscovy in a union. So yeah, I'm a little bit jealous, a little bit concerned about how this will actually work out. But as you can see, the Regency Council doesn't actually have any heirs. So actually, I have royal ties with them. Or is there actually an heir? Regency Council? No, the Regency Council isn't for anyone, so I have no idea how that actually works. I don't get how this works at all. So yeah, I'll be dealing with Japan and most likely the Orient Horde, and then we'll see what happens. So yeah, the war with the Persians is over because I basically gotten all I want here, and that is just the. I just need that whole province here so that I can be, or so that I can release the Timurids and then grow them out of this. Khorasan is revolted though, which is kind of interesting, but even so. I will probably allow the Persians to annex them down the line. Shouldn't actually be a problem here. The Horde is also soon, or very fast now, falling. So they shouldn't actually be a problem for long either. With that in mind, we're more or less done with their war. The result is that I actually want two of their provinces, Sanxi and Yumen, because both of them are actually Shan cores. And I could potentially take this one as well and hand it over to Shan afterwards. We'll probably do just that, and we'll see how that plays out. I will be getting some aggressive expansion though, as you can see. So, but as long as I don't get too much with Muscovy, I should be just fine. The real problem here is, as I said, the Livonian Order case, which is kind of weird for me. I'm a little bit surprised too that the Muscovites haven't decided that they want to rule themselves instead of this little island over here. It seems like they also have some rebel issues. So it's actually quite tempting to go ahead and go off the Livonian Order in a test, more or less, to see if I can actually take a 100 deal with Muscovy by taking the 3 Livonian provinces, because by all means these guys should be war leader, and since they're so small it should be an easy smash and grab. March 60,000 troops into their lands or at the border, and then simply give them an ass whooping. So what I will be doing here is using Sweden as, well, my help, ally, so forth. I could even do it with Muscovy. We'll actually do that instead. I'll be using Muscovy as my scapegoat, I guess, and we'll be walking through the Muscovy lands in order to get our asses over there. And that should be enough actually to spark this. But as I said, I'll be testing if this is a viable tactic first by asking on the forums, listening in a little bit about what other people have experienced if they tried this. So we'll have to let that wait. But for now, I'll be dealing, as I said, with the Horde and with Japan, and we'll see how that turns out. As you can see, the Japanese proves no threat at all. If you couldn't see it, I was about a 20k stack. I was a little bit quick on the trigger there, so you probably didn't. But yeah, I erased the 20k stack there with well, my stack was about the same size. Wow, that is scary. So the Horde has actually started moving their troops now, which is quite annoying. and I'm not even close to the war score I want, so I think I should actually move these guys back into Horde territory, or do the easiest thing here, which is to send these guys through the back door, I guess I could call it. But yeah, we'll see how that turns out. For now, I'm still waiting for, yeah, I had the hiccups, this navy here, to get their horses over here so I can join up with the transport fleet and such, start getting some moves on. Apparently the Horde decided to occupy that area. Can't have that. So yeah, we'll be trying to occupy the entirety of the Horde, and then we'll see what we'll do. But for now, Japan or Japanese Korea. And once the fleet is over here, we'll be taking one of these two, probably 3 provinces then, and force them to well, try to grow Japan or a daimyo or whatever. I have no idea how to pronounce it. Sorry, out of that. So we'll see if it's plausible or not. The war with Aragon is more likely over here. As you can see, we have well, sieged their mainlands. We'll probably take just Girona and Roussillon and hand it over to Castile. But as I've already stated, I need to end this war before that can happen. So I'll be continuing, and then we'll see once this is over. We'll be starting to hand over provinces. The fleet is still not gone all the way, and we'll also most likely start attacking Swahili and Oman. And otherwise just start getting at the Ottomans from all directions and try and get that done. Also, as I said, I want to integrate the Byzantines and basically every vassal I have now pretty far. Stellai, Malva, possibly also. Because of the fact that integrating vassals turns out, it hurts quite a lot to my relations with virtually everyone. So it's not a good thing to have too many of them in the long run. So as you know, Byzantine is probably my oldest vassal right now. And as you can see, they have 156 simply from the annexed vassals. Luckily, I don't get that with Portugal because they're in a union. But England I also get it with. So England is potentially something that I need to try and think about annexing soon. Once I'm done with Great Britain, for example. So I'll be feeding the Great Britain provinces to England. And hopefully I can get it done with before we are too far down the line. So hopefully we can do that, but we'll see how it plays out. This will probably be the end of this episode. I'll do a little bit of research before I record next on how it would actually turn out if I were to attack Livonian Order. If simply Livonian Order is all that's needed to be sieged, which would be an extremely bad exploit, but an exploit nonetheless, that would be very useful to get rid of Muscovy here. Then I could simply use that to have Muscovy release huge nations to my advantage. I could gobble them up and everyone would live happily ever after. So we'll see if that actually turns out as expected. So thank you for watching. Please leave a comment, praise, criticism, anything you feel like. Sorry for using most of this episode for simply chit-chatting on how I was going to do stuff, which I basically have been done the entire series. So once again, thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.